four particles, each of mass m and equidistant from each other, move along a circle of radius r under the action of their mutual gravitational attraction. The speed of each particle is. Now, according to the problem symmetry, there are four particles, each having mass m, that means they are having identical mass. They are equidistant from each other, and further they are moving on a circular path. They are moving under the influence of a force which is provided by their gravitational attraction. Speed of each particle is. Now, since they are moving under the force which is provided by the gravitational effect and on circular path, there must be a centripetal force responsible for these particles to move. Particles are equidistant and on circle. That satisfies the condition that particle must be at the quadrant of the circle. Only then they can be equidistant from each other. Let us give particles the number so that it would be easy for us to calculate. Suppose this is the first particle, this is the second particle, this becomes third particle, and this becomes fourth particle. Now these particles will be exerting force on each other. Let us focus on particle number 1. If we focus on particle number 1, then particle 1 will be experiencing the gravitational attraction from particle 2, 3 and 4. So this gravitational attraction force can be denoted like this: F12, that is gravitational force exerted on particle 1 by particle 2. We can denote it vectorially. Then F14 will be the gravitational force exerted on particle 1 by particle 4, and at the same time F13 would indicate gravitational force exerted on particle 1 by particle 3. Symmetry of problem also gives us this condition, that this angle must be equal to 45 degree. Distance between particle 1 and particle 2 will become equal to root 2 times radius, because from the particle 1 to center is r, from particle to center is also distance r. So square root of r square plus r square, that would become equal to root 2r. From the mirror geometry, we can also say that this distance between particle 1 and 4 will be also equal to root 2r. We require to calculate the net amount of centripetal force which would be exerted on particle 1, that is the force which is directed towards the center, which would be responsible for its circular motion. There are three forces shown over here. We have to find that what is the total force towards the center. If we observe the magnitude of force F12 and F14, they are same, because the particles are of same mass and they are at same distance from particle 1. So F12 is equal to F14 is equal to G into M1 into M2. M1 is M, M2 is also M. So M square by square of distance between particle. The square of distance means root 2r whole square. So that will become equal to 2r square. If we consider the force magnitude between 1 and 3, then we can write F13 is equal to Gm square divided by square of distance between 1 and 3. Now between 1 and 3, total distance will be r plus r, that is 2r. 2r whole square will become equal to 4r square. We have magnitude of these forces, but F12 and F14, they are not directed towards the center, so we require to calculate their component which are towards the center. It can be seen very clearly that one of the component of F12 will be in horizontal direction, that would become F12 sine 45 degree, and one of the component would be vertical, that would be towards the center, which we will write as F12 cos 45 degree. Likewise, if we notice for the component of F14, we will see that one of its component will be horizontal, that would be equal to F14 sine 45 degree, and another component will be vertical again towards the center, which we will write as F14 cos 45 degree. So now we have the force which are acting on particle and directed towards the center. These three forces, F13, F12 cos 45 degree and F14 cos 45 degree, will provide total or the net centripetal force. So we can write centripetal force Fc is equal to, now it is provided by F13 plus F12 cos 45 degree plus F14 cos 45 degree. That can be written as, for F13 we can write gm square by 4r square, plus for F12 we can write gm square by 2r square into cos 45 will be equal to 1 by root 2 plus F14 can be written in the same way because it would be exactly same as F12. So gm square by 2r square into 1 by root 2. So further we can write like this, that centripetal force Fc is equal to gm square by 4r square plus, if we see over here, we can write, because these two terms are same, so twice into gm square by 2 root 2 1 by r square. We can cancel out effect of this 2 over here. So this is what we are getting as the result over here, gm square by 4r square plus gm square upon root 2 r square. Let us continue on the next slide for the further evaluation of this problem. Fc is equal to gm square by 4r square plus 1 by root 2 gm square by r square. Let us verify. Gm square by 4r square, gm square upon root 2 r square. Okay. Now centripetal force can be written as mv square by r. That must be equal to gm square by r square. We can take as a common term, and into bracket we can write 1 by 4 plus 1 by root 2. So that can be also written like this. After simplification we can see that 1 m will get cancelled out, likewise 1 r will get cancelled out. V square is equal to gm by r. If we take 4 common out of this, then we can write this equal to 1 plus 4 by root 2. So that can be also written as V square is equal to gm by 4r into bracket 1 plus, if we multiply and divide by root 2 over here, then it would become 2 root 2. So V is equal to square root of gm by 4r into bracket 1 plus 2 root 2. Final simplification gives this 4 coming out from the square root becomes 2. V equal to 1 by 2 root of gm by r into bracket 1 plus 2 root 2. So let us see which option is satisfying this answer. Half into root of gm by r 1 plus 2 root 2. We can see that it is satisfied by option C.